Hi, welcome to Antonette's Training. This video is one in a series of videos on how to house train your dog. If you'd like to see the introduction to this series, click here. If you'd like to learn about the prevention method, click here. If you'd like to learn about the crate training method, click here. And if you'd like to learn about the newspaper method, click here. This video is some extra hints and tips to help you more effectively house train your puppy. Okay, tip number 1. Patience. You've got to have a lot of patience with these techniques because it's going to take your dog a while to learn them. Even if you think your dog's mastered their technique within 1 or 2 days because they're not having any accidents inside, doesn't mean they've actually learned it yet. It is going to take a while. Number 2, mistakes are going to happen. You wouldn't expect a newborn baby to come home and use the toilet, so don't expect a puppy to come home straight away and be able to go outside. It's just their instinct to go when they need to go wherever is convenient for them. Even after months of correctly doing the right thing, your dog may mess up, and this isn't something to hold against them. They're still learning. Number 3, yelling at your puppy when you find an accident in the hallway or in your cupboard or underneath your bed isn't going to solve anything. It's just going to intimidate your puppy and make them scared of you. After the fact, your dog's forgotten what they've done. They won't understand what they've done wrong. They're not going to be able to connect those together and realize what you're yelling at them for. And even if they could understand what you're yelling at them for, they're not going to know really how to correct it. The mistake's done and over with. So, what do you do if you do catch your dog mid-act? Well, you need to take them to where they do need to go. Obviously, if you pick up a dog mid-act, they may or may not stop. So it's your choice whether you want to stop them mid-act and hope that they stop, or whether you'd just rather let them do the deed and minimize the mess. But as soon as they've done that, you need to take them outside to the area where they need to go. Hopefully, best case scenario, you've got a dog who will stop and will continue outside, and then you can praise them for going in the right spot. But basically, you don't want to ignore the behavior that they're doing, but you also don't want to yell at them because that's just going to make them scared of going in front of you. And if you're using one of the methods where you take them outside and then expect them to go in front of you, this is going to be very counterproductive. I am one of those people who do think it's appropriate to teach your dog no, and I do think it's okay to say to them no, and to teach them early on that that word means that they're doing something wrong without actually yelling at them or intimidating them. Then you need to go back and clean up the mess thoroughly. Dogs are really big on consistency and routine, so they're going to continue to go back to the same spot, especially if you don't clean it up properly. With my dogs, what I would do is shut off that area or block off the area somehow, put something on top of it to prevent them from going back there, because no matter how good you clean, dogs still have that rote memory in their head where they're going to know where they went last. So block it up as best as you can. It is possible to train your dog to go in a particular spot. It's just about taking them to that spot every single time you take them to go to the toilet. So if you prefer them go in the garden rather than on the grass, just take them to that spot. But be thinking about where that spot is. With Halo, we taught him to go in gardens, and that's still something that he does to this day, and we've always been lucky that he avoids the plants. He seems to know the areas that we prefer him going. Shiloh was a lot harder because he's, scared of lots of things. He was a puppy trained during winter and it was raining lots. So we'd take him outside, and often he didn't want to go and he'd jump back up on the veranda because he didn't want to be out in the rain. So we'd have to get there and try and show him cover. So he basically learned to go really close to the house, and it's something we're slowly trying to train him out of. Number 6, learn the signs that your dog needs to go. Some dogs unfortunately won't give you any signs. Some dogs will circle an area consistently. Some dogs will start sniffing around. Some dogs may have their tail down. You've just got to really watch your dog and learn what they need to do. So if you're using the prevention method or one of those methods where you take them outside to a designated area, watch them. Is there anything they're doing before they go? Halo would circle around and around the area, and then eventually he'd start bending down his bottom, and we'd know we'd have to take him outside, and he'd give us a bit of warning. Shiloh was much more discreet. With all his fur, half the time you wouldn't even know that he was going. Dogs don't like going right next to where they went before, so make sure you're continually cleaning up the area where you want them to go and not letting it get too many, but at the same time make sure you're leaving some sort of remnants, whether it be a smell or whatnot, so they know that's the area where they need to go. Develop a routine and stick to it. Feed them at the same time. Give them drinks at the same time. Take them outside at the same time. Dogs are big on routine. They're going to respond to it much, much quicker than if you take them all willy-nilly. You don't have to just use one method. While we used the prevention method with Halo, we used a combination of the newspaper method and the prevention method with Shiloh. Because he came to us knowing the newspaper method, we started off with that and we found that he wasn't really using it effectively. So we did keep newspaper in the house, but we'd also take him out every half an hour. Halo used only the prevention method, and he probably had 3 accidents inside, and it was usually when we weren't doing the right thing. So we forgot that he would need to go, or we'd take him outside. We wouldn't leave him out there for long enough, because you really do need to wait out there for like 10 minutes to see if they're going to go, because not all puppies are going to go straight away. They're going to be like interested in the smells and interested in the sounds and the sights and exploring. So wait out there for a while to see if they need to go. Most of the accidents were much later on in his toilet training. When we first brought him home, we were really good with it. He didn't go inside. It was perfect. And it was when we started to try and, you know, branch out in times, leaving it longer, trying to give him a bit more trust, which is what you need to do, that he'd make those mistakes. So you just need to make sure that you really know your dog, knowing how often they need to go and keeping that routine up so they get consistent with it. While we didn't have a dog door for Halo, but we did have one for Shiloh, we decided not to use it as we didn't want to confuse these 2 items. We wanted them to be able to go to the toilet without any hassles and not have to worry about being scared of the dog door or training them how to use it. So with our dogs, we would usually try and leave the back door open, and we would take them to the door where they needed to go. So Halo learnt that he needed to whine at the door if he wanted to be let out to go to the toilet. And these days he's still trained with that. So if we go to somebody's house and they don't have dogs, they don't have a dog door, Halo will go and whine at the door to let us know that he needs to go out. And that's something that has become very handy. Another tip to use for all of these methods is when you do take your dog outside to go to the toilet, try and lead them out there, lure them to go out there. So they're learning the process of, okay, I need to walk myself out there. I'm walking out to the garden. This is the way that I walk. This is where I need to go to the toilet. And we found that it worked much quicker in toilet training the puppy than carrying them out there and plopping them on the ground. I hope you found this series of videos useful, and if you haven't checked out the videos yet, here's the introduction video, here's the prevention method, here's the crate training method, and here is the newspaper method. I hope to see you again soon. See ya!